Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Well, so far in 2023 has been marked as a bittersweet year for me. There were great things that happened this year. I landed a couple of dream jobs. I've met some important figures in my life. But at the same time, I'm feeling massive amounts of burnout, and it really shows, right? For the first 3 years of COVID-19, I hardly ever got sick from COVID-19, right? I would always recover and bounce right back in 2 days. One time I only tested positive for about 2 days, if I remember correctly. I was more pissed off that our work was being a little bit more conservative. I couldn't go back until 5 days had passed. I was testing negative. And that's how I used to recover from COVID-19. It wasn't that way this time around. I actually, I recovered from the virus really quickly, but unfortunately, I lost my appetite I'm still losing my appetite from time to time. It's gotten a little bit better, but at the beginning, I would wake up every day feeling stuffed, like I had eaten a 5-course dinner in my dream. That's how I felt for quite a few months. I remember trying to think positively. I was spending a lot less money on food. This was during a time when there was massive food inflation at the store, and I remember just being able to laugh about that and take my food budget and buy Bismuth with it instead. And so I tried to take a good view on it. I had just landed my job at Phoenix College at this time. I took a good view of it. I remember being able to grade the midterm exam without being distracted by food cravings. Well, I would still crave, my mouth would still crave food, my stomach would deny it, right? That's how it felt, but at least I could actually focus on my grading, right? And unfortunately, I left a toxic job this year, right? I was working at a tutoring center, and I started work at Phoenix College. The main regret I have is that I didn't have confidence in starting the new job at Phoenix College, and so I got myself distracted. I took another tutoring job and a bunch of gig work to kind of insure against the job at Phoenix College not going well. I wish I had not done that. It took away a lot of the thunder of my motivation. It's tough, right? Part of our work culture doesn't allow us to focus on one job, or we always got to worry, am I going to be let go today, right? And I think it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? The fact that you could be let go of any day forces you to divert some attention to something else, right? That's something that I hope to speak up about, right? I am with my quiet quitting movement and all that, participating in the quiet quitting movement. Unfortunately, I lost my good habits that I created over the last few years as a result of all this burnout. You may remember a year ago today, I was very gung-ho about no FAP. I was eating a whole lot better, right? Nowadays, I'm once again having lots of problems with eating, in large part because I just don't have the flexibility of it, right? I have work to do, and maybe it's 12 o'clock during my break and I'm not hungry, but I have to force myself to eat because otherwise I have office hours, I got classes. I don't know what you do. We all know we should actually pay attention to our hunger cues. What do you do when your work doesn't allow you to eat at any time that you want to, right? Feel free to leave a comment. Maybe I have a few dietitians who watch my channel, or maybe you have wonky schedules. Like, what would you do? Let's do it that way. And also, the same thing with the no FAP. I mean, sometimes I FAP just so I can get on with my life, right? Not because I actually want to, but I need to get that desire out of my mind so I can focus on grading my exams, or maybe I got people I need to see. And I have a big problem, not just with fapping, but in general with pleasuring myself. I have a big addiction to picking my ears. Not because I have ear problems or anything, but just the pleasure of it. And I have a big problem with farting. I don't give a shit about farting in public, in large part because it's pleasurable. And so I've been known to, in the middle of, sometimes I just fart in public. Other times when I realize that I can't be farting around somebody, I have a habit of getting up and going somewhere just to fart, because it just feels so pleasurable. And I liken it to the addiction I have to fapping. It is very similar in some regards, I want to say. The ear picking, the farting, and to a lesser extent the eating disorders. I would imagine all of those have some connection to my fapping disorder. They're all pleasure addictions, right? Although the food addiction, it kind of straddles the between soft and hard addictions, right? It's kind of a combination of both, right? The masturbating and the farting and the ear picking, that's almost entirely soft addiction, right? So just how I feel about that. Maybe I should start by not doing the other pleasures, right? Although that's a tough one too. Sometimes I only do these things just so I can get on with my life, right? I'm distracted. I can't grade my papers. And so I masturbate just so I can get on with those tasks. That's something that I want to work on in the coming months. Anyways, let's do some fortune telling, because I'm thankful to have all these challenges in my life. 1, 10, 5. In Chinese, the number 5 is pronounced "ooh," and it's really fun to say. When I was a kid, I often had trouble getting up in the morning to go to school. My mom would wake me up and I would ask for 5 more minutes, and I would go, "Ooh, come on, wake up, go to school. Ooh." And "ooh" was one of the first words that my brother learned to say, because it had been a big frustrating thing to hear. My brother would be getting ready to go to school as well, and he would hear me say "ooh" over and over again. He thought "ooh" meant to procrastinate. That was one of his first words. 2, 11, 7, 9. At least we're not drawing a 4. 6 is a lucky number for me, because I don't do very well in large crowded environments. And 6 means to isolate yourself from others because of social distancing, right? 6 feet, right? Oh, another 6. That must be lucky. Oh, another 6. Hopefully we get to isolate ourselves again. I definitely do want to go away somewhere to isolate myself during the Christmas holiday. I'm thinking of going to Wallace, Idaho. Death! Alright, well, it's Thanksgiving. Let's be thankful for all these challenges. I need to practice not pleasuring myself so much so that I can actually go out and meet new people. I need to practice being mindful so that I don't feel jammed up with all this stuff to do day in and day out, right? I do wish, I love everything that I do. Both jobs, gig work, everything else. I really do love all of that stuff. I just wish it could come at me a whole lot slower, right? And actually think of it this way, I'd much rather be part of the work than have the work come at me, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.